They said the girl would never walk again, never run, never dance. The doctors said it calmly, like they were reading the weather. But on a quiet afternoon, inside a mansion built on billions, a black single father with worn-out shoes and a past nobody bothered to ask about did the impossible. And when the girl stood up, not just stood, but moved, her mother collapsed to the floor in tears. Because this wasn't just a miracle. It was a secret buried for 20 years, finally coming to life. Marcus Reed woke up before the sun every morning, same routine, cheap alarm clock. Cold water on his face, a silent prayer he never said out loud. He lived in a small apartment on the south side of the city, with peeling paint, and unreliable heat, but it was always clean. Because his son, Isaiah, deserved that. Marcus was a single father with no backup and no safety net, just him, and a promise he made long ago to never quit on family again. By day, Marcus worked as a private caregiver, not certified, not flashy, but always requested. People couldn't explain why. They just said things like, "He's different," or "He has a calming presence," or "My child listens to him." Marcus never corrected them. He never explained. Then one afternoon, the call came. A private number, a nervous assistant. A billionaire family looking for temporary help. Their daughter was 13 years old, wheelchair-bound since the age of 5. Elite doctors, world-class therapy. Nothing worked. The pay was more money than Marcus had ever seen, enough to change his life. He hesitated, not because of the money, but because of the girl. Because Marcus recognized that look, the quiet sadness behind brave eyes. He accepted the job. The mansion was silent when Marcus arrived, too quiet. No laughter, no warmth. Just marble floors and grief hiding behind luxury. The girl's name was Evelyn. Thin arms, sharp mind. Eyes that watched everything. She didn't smile when Marcus introduced himself. She didn't speak either. Her mother, Catherine Hale, stood nearby, perfect posture, perfect clothes, and a heart held together by desperation. "She doesn't like new people," Catherine said softly. Marcus nodded. He always nodded. Days passed. Marcus never pushed, never rushed. He spoke to Evelyn like she was whole, not fragile or broken. He told her stories while adjusting her chair, stories about his son, about mistakes, about second chances. Slowly something shifted. Evelyn began responding. A nod, a raised eyebrow. Then one day she laughed. Catherine heard it from the hallway and froze. She hadn't heard that sound in years. Marcus slowly introduced movement. Tiny movements, foot flexes, breathing exercises, balance drills. Catherine noticed. This wasn't approved by her doctors, she snapped. Marcus stayed calm. "I know," he said. That made it worse. Security was called. Questions were asked. Backgrounds checked. "Where did you learn this?" Catherine demanded. Marcus stayed silent. Then everything went wrong. Evelyn collapsed during a session. Pain. Fear. Chaos. Doctors rushed in. Catherine screamed. Marcus didn't move because he had seen this moment before and he knew what came next. The lead specialist pulled Catherine aside and spoke carefully. "What your caregiver is doing is unconventional," he said, "but it's triggering neural responses we haven't seen before." Catherine turned toward Marcus, her voice cracking. "Who are you?" Marcus exhaled, and for the first time in years, he told the truth. He explained that he had once been a physical therapy prodigy, recruited young, placed on a national pipeline. Then his brother was shot. Marcus dropped out, took the blame for something he didn't do, and went to prison. The room fell silent. In prison, he said, he helped men walk again after stabbings, after beatings, after despair. He looked at Evelyn and said her condition wasn't hopeless, just misunderstood. The doctor stared because Marcus was right. The techniques he was using were advanced, experimental, and lost to bureaucracy. Catherine collapsed into a chair. All that money, all that power. And the miracle came from a man the system threw away. Weeks later, Evelyn stood. Not perfectly, not easily. But she stood. Her legs shook, her hands trembled. Marcus stood behind her without touching her. "Trust yourself," he whispered. She took a step. Catherine covered her mouth. Another step. Then Evelyn smiled, not a small smile, but a full one. The room erupted. Doctors cried. Staff froze. Catherine fell to her knees, not just because her daughter walked, but because she finally understood. Marcus was offered everything: a permanent position, a foundation, global recognition. He accepted one thing only: funding for community rehabilitation centers in neighborhoods like his for people like him. Because sometimes miracles don't come from power. They come from pain. Sometimes the world overlooks the very people who hold the answers we're desperate for. And you should never judge someone by where they stand today, because the hands that lift others tomorrow might belong to someone the world once refused to believe in.